Hello. This is going to be a slightly shorter video than the one I did yesterday, but we were thinking about Ofgem and wanted to look really about how they operate. So the purpose of this video is to answer the question: do Ofgem really protect consumers? And to be honest with you, in our experience, that has to be a resounding no. But first, I want you to consider the following popular phrase: actions speak louder than words. And it's this phrase that forms our opinion of Ofgem. So, they can write and publish hundreds of policy documents and say they're doing this and that to help us, but unless they are actually helping us, what good are they? Ofgem claim that, and I'm going to read now, yeah. So this is actually, I've written this down to read out. So this is actually on on their website and in one of their documents as well. Our primary duty as the regulator is to protect and promote the interests of current and future consumers. This means ensuring the market is fair for all consumers, including those who might find themselves in vulnerable situations. The following is a quote which came from a recent conversation with an ombudsman, and apologies, I'm paraphrasing. Our role isn't to decide for or against anyone. So if you take that comment, our role isn't to decide against any, how does that protect a consumer? It doesn't. It means they're sitting on the fence. And if they continue to sit on the fence and not protect us from companies like Scottish Power, nothing will change. Well, actually, it's more likely that their current position will make matters far worse. Companies like Scottish Power aren't stupid. If they can see, that people are taking them to the Ombudsman and the Ombudsman's not actually doing anything, they're just going to think, well, we can do what we like. At this point, I want to note that only recently that Ofgem closed the provisional order it made against Scottish Power, and the result, surprise, surprise, was that they fined them £18 million. And also, I don't know if you know this, but Ofgem are solely funded by the licence holders, i.e. Scottish Power, British Gas, etc. So for every complaint made, the licensee pays a fee, and I think that might be £400. And in some cases, where the complaint's extended for whatever reason, or there's been a delay, they have to pay a daily fee too. Now, if you've watched my previous video, Scottish Power, Blood on Their Hands, you'll remember in a conversation with the Ombudsman, we were told we have no power to impose compensation. Well, just today we found evidence that is actually a lie. And I'm going to read some lines from their policy documents. So, Ofgem's own document, Statement of Policy with respect to financial penalties, states in 7.1, the authority may make a consumer redress order which requires the regulated person, in legalese, a company is actually a person. So when they say person, they're referring to, Scottish Power or whatever. Requires the regulated person to do anything necessary for the purpose of remedying the contravention or preventing a similar contravention in the future. 7.2. The authority will seek to ensure that where consumers have suffered a loss, damage or inconvenience, every effort is made to compensate the affected consumer directly. Where it is not possible or practical to compensate individuals who have been affected by the contravention, the authority will seek to ensure that any such loss, damage or inconvenience is acknowledged and put right in other ways. So, in our case, then in our first complaint to Ofgem was mishandled in that we suffered a loss of £1,200 by Scottish Power cancelling our direct debits, and Ofgem should have made every effort to compensate us for our loss, and yet we received just £75 as a goodwill gesture and not to compensate our loss. In our case, the debt, the £1,200, was due to Scottish Power's ongoing cancellation of our direct debits, and then added insult to injury by asking us to pay far more than we could afford. Now ask yourself this: how do Ofgem protect vulnerable consumers? They don't. The extent of their protection is to demand the licensee to pay a standard £400 fee for each complaint received and impose massive fines of £18 million on the licensee. Now it seems to me, obviously I'm not categorically saying this outright, but it certainly seems to me that somehow along the way Ofgem have become corrupt and have completely forgotten their mission to protect consumers, and that they're now solely in the business of making money for themselves. For one, how does an £18 million fine impact on a company that makes £1 billion a year? It doesn't. But perhaps that explains why Scottish Power are making 300 employees redundant. 300 people on 35k reduces their costs by 10 million a year. That fine will be paid for in 2 years. And if that's the case, then Ofgem are causing harm to consumers indirectly as well. Just a couple of things to kind of like consider about Ofgem. Now we've only just started digging into this a little bit deeper, Ofgem and how they're kind of like impacting us. You can't forget that all our bills went up because Ofgem allowed it. Yeah, so they're screwing us left, right, and centre. But anyway, a couple of points I wanted to clear up regarding what I said yesterday in the Blood on Their Hands video. We were lied to by Scottish Power regarding a complaint. There is no requirement to make a complaint using the chat facility. Their own complaints procedure, which we access today, says we can use an email, use the email, contact us at scottishpower.co.uk, and I'll leave a link below to their complaints procedure. Regarding complaints, it's really, really important that you keep all evidence. This is why email is the best method. I would also say that Scottish Power prefer to use telephone when discussing issues. In this case, record your conversation. Though there can be some legal issues with this if you want to use recordings as evidence in an ombudsman's case. I got around this just today by writing to Scottish Power, telling them that all future conversations will be recorded, all future telephone conversations will be recorded, and that by calling they're automatically agreeing to be recorded, and also give permission for the recording to be used for the recording to be submitted as evidence in any future external complaints. So my advice, if you're thinking about making a complaint, is to read in full and understand the rules imposed on them by the standard license conditions. You're looking for a breach in those conditions. If you need help, ask in the comments below. And in my next video, I'm going to provide details of the best way to write a complaint and what you can expect during the process. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.